Everybody, so this is an overview video for week 4 of social media design strategies. So this week we'll be covering 2 chapters. So we have some short deadlines on assignments. First chapter we're going to cover is marketing with Facebook, and the second chapter we will be covering is marketing with Instagram. So as we get into each chapter, we'll have a couple different assignments, primarily more follow-up with the individual um, websites or organizations that we'll work with through the semester. So before we get started with chapter 4, or maybe even after chapter 4, go ahead and take this survey. This is a 5-point survey. There's a series of questions that we'll cover during lecture in class. And so you can fill these out as we go, or you can fill them out afterward. And next, for the Facebook assignment, we have a content strategy assignment where you will work with your group or partner group to complete this assignment, and you're going to review the examples that we will see here in the lecture from chapter 4 that cover content strategies for Facebook. And then you're going to meet with your partner and find content strategy examples from this list that your assigned business or organization is using. And you will also want to start to think about what their Facebook content strategy is made up of and why it stands out. Submit some screenshots or gather some screenshots of their successful posts, and then share how you think these content strategy options are impacting their groups or businesses. So you're going to create a PowerPoint out of this and also a Flipgrid. So I'll leave it up to you how you all want to divide up that series of responsibilities. Again, this is a group project because it may take you a little bit of time to find examples that match some of the strategies that we're talking about. It may also be that not many or any of these strategies are being used. So you may have to take an existing post and make recommendations on how they could implement one or more of these strategies. So submission, you'll have a PowerPoint to submit as well as a Flipgrid. So I've supplied the Flipgrid URLs for that and the naming format for your PowerPoint. And so for Instagram, which will be content we cover the second half of the week, we also have an assignment which I'll review. So we'll take a look at this. And this is not a group assignment, so this is something you'll complete on your own. And this is where you're going to pick a small to medium-sized local business that's active on Instagram. And you're going to look at their Instagram posts over the last 2 weeks, and then evaluate their posts and see if they're using all of these components effectively, the components that make up a successful Instagram post. So use of a photo or video, use of captions, hashtags, and a call to action link. So you will create a PowerPoint that answers the following 4 questions, and then present your PowerPoint in a Flipgrid video. So what is it about the content that does or does not stand out? Share some examples that are either good examples or bad, and then make recommendations on how the company can improve their organic Instagram posts, and then make some suggestions on how they can improve their overall strategy. Maybe there's some things they aren't using yet, like stories, Instagram TV, Reels, or maybe posting at certain times of day, or changing up how they ask for clicks in their call to action. So this assignment also has two parts. You will complete your own PowerPoint. Um, I found it would be easier for you to have a PowerPoint to follow along rather than just a series of notes. So within Flipgrid, you should be able to share your screen and then present that PowerPoint as part of your video that you'll post here as well. So you'll notice there's two submissions you'll need to make, website URL and then a PowerPoint file upload. So that is the majority of the assignments for this week. The only other one that's out here is completing round 2 of Mimic Social. So this is the round where you're going to analyze the performance of your first round, where you set up a campaign and ran it within the simulation. So round 2, you're going to go through and answer all the questions in the questions tab, export that as a CSV file, and then write a campaign analysis. So a post-campaign analysis is going to include things like what elements worked well, what didn't work well, how did the target audience respond, so did you get a lot of clicks or shares or likes, engagements, review the effectiveness of your campaign compared to the goal. So the goal this week was awareness of the brand. So do you think that your campaign increased awareness? The second to last part here would be just in general, if you're doing a post-campaign analysis, you would talk with the stakeholder or whoever has requested the campaign to be run. In this case, you can't really talk to the simulation boss. So this is something where you can discuss this with your classmates. Then finally summarize what you learned for future campaigns. So your submission will be a CSV showing all your campaign performance, and then a post-campaign analysis, which can be submitted as a text entry or as a PowerPoint. So this assignment will be due at the end of the week, and that kind of finishes up the week for Mimic Social, so for the simulation. And then finally, assignments for the following week. We'll be covering 2 chapters, and we'll also be having a quiz or exam on chapters 1 through 5. I will have a study guide available for you that will cover some of the content in those first 5 chapters that we've reviewed. Also, the last 2 chapters, 4 and 5, should be pretty fresh since we're covering those this week. So that kind of wraps up the overview for week 4 here.